Hello, beautiful souls. I just wanted to share a little bit with you about the Unite purpose, the mission and vision. I realized I haven't talked about this in a while and wanted to share. And I was thinking about, why are we building this platform? Why are we building Unite? And I definitely didn't start out as a business person or an entrepreneur. That wasn't in my goal to like become, rich and use business or whatever. It was, I, I just kind of grew up, you know, friends and connections, and definitely something that's been a through point for me has been making connections and being the kind of person in my elementary school who would, bring different friend groups together. And then my high school, it was always my house where, we would go to meet to go out and I would bring together these different groups. And then as I got older, I was very intuitive, very kind of musician, very kind of in the flow. I call it my professional hippie days. And I just spent a lot of time, writing music and traveling and going with the flow and really learning, really diving deep into personal growth. And I had these experiences where I would, connect or I would meet someone in the flow, and then I would just go on my way, and I meet someone else, and it was like they needed to meet. They were the perfect match, and I feel like the universe used me as a tool to connect because I was very focused on following my intuition. So I was just easily, like, oh, I guess I'll go this way, and then I would just meet up with the right people at the right time. And so as that was happening, I was thinking, I really would love to figure out a way to get paid for this. I had grown up with a bit of money, like my family had okay money, and I went to a nice school and had a car when I was 16, and not super rich, but comfortable. And and I never really thought about money. It wasn't really a big thing. And it wasn't until I really had this like, I'm going to be a musician. I'm not going to do anything else for money. I'm only going to be a musician. And that's when I was like the most broke in my life. And I just wasn't following the flow. I wasn't going with the flow. I wasn't accepting opportunities. I was like, no, it has to be this way. And so I sort of, I learned how to go with that flow. But so I hadn't figured out my money thing yet. And I was like, I really want to find a way that is part of my passion, that I can make money doing things that I love, doing things that feel good for me. And so that's where, it started to build this idea. And at the same time, when I was in my teens and 20s, I was thinking like, how do we make the world just so much better? Like I like many of you, I'm sure, have this, big vision of like, oh, let's eco communities and all this, fun stuff. And how do we do, I'm gonna hide that. How do we do whatever, just creating these communities all around the world, and living in more harmony, and just creating city centers where all the conscious community can interact and co-create, and performance venues, and just the whole thing. Like, why doesn't that exist yet? And I know so many of us share this vision of like both city and rural communities and spaces and culture, and just sharing more of that good stuff. And so as I began to really understand and see some of the things in the world that I would love to see done different, the war, the hunger, and different violence and different things like that, I started to kind of go down the list and say, okay, like what's the thing? Like, what if I could make an impact in my life, what's the thing that I could do that would most positively impact humanity globally? And I definitely spent a little bit too much time in this space and not in the flow. But nonetheless, I really sort of put myself in a place where I was like, I really want to feel like I'm making the biggest impact I can make, and just doing the most that I can do with my life. And I really want to support humanity in I want to support people and being happier and more in alignment. And I was sort of listening to Abraham Hicks and really understanding my emotional center. And that's actually where the name Shine came from, is my birth name is Kelly Sean McMahon, and I'm a musician, and I was writing and playing a lot. And I wanted a stage name because Kelly McMahon or Kelly Sean McMahon felt kind of weird as a stage name. So I was like, oh, I want something different. And my dad's last name was Kelly. He died when I was 15. My mom's last name is McMahon, and they named me Kelly Sean McMahon. So I was like, oh, and then Kelly Sean. I was like, oh, Sean like a light. Oh, Shine Kelly. And so I took my dad's last name and changed my first name to Shine. And that's, I don't know, that was probably, gosh, so like almost 20 years ago now, maybe 15. But I, so that was for me also, that was a reminder to me because I used to feel like I was both my good stuff and my bad stuff, and that's who I was. And I remember meeting someone one time, and she was like, "Oh, you're so amazing. You're so lovely. You're so wonderful." And I was like, I had this like, "Oh, you don't know this part of me," and I like started to be like not nice to just show her like, "No, I'm not always nice. Like I can be this too." And my my dad passed away when I was 15. My mom became super depressed. She's doing great now. But she spent 5 years in this deep depression, and she was, seeing the best psychiatrist and had money and all these things. And it wasn't until she found this thing called the Journey that was a tool to help her go into some past memories and release the trauma. And after a few sessions, she felt better than ever, and is now teaching this work and introduced me to that work. So that became a big focus for me, is like, I started to really go down the rabbit hole of like, how can, what would happen if I just surrendered and just felt whatever I was feeling. And that's one of the practices in the journey, is you just literally sit or whatever, and you just say, okay, what am I feeling? Feel it fully, expand it, let it be there. Okay, what's underneath? Okay, feel that fully, let it happen. Like and you just kind of name the feeling, but you don't get into story. And it's funny because every single time I've done this by myself and with other people, it always takes you down to this like place of bliss and this place of love and this place of alignment. And it's just such a beautiful space. And so I began to associate myself with that state as my true self. And then the other stuff that was not as nice as kind of like a distortion of my true self. But it wasn't my true self. It wasn't who I really was. It was just me not being fully me. And if you listen to Abraham Hicks, you'll kind of get that. And I love them for explaining this stuff. And so I began to think about like, okay, what's the best way to, if everyone in the world, and of course not everyone, but if more people in the world cared about how they felt and wanted to be in more of a emotionally aligned, happy, stable place, and learn those skills of managing emotions and how to navigate that flow. And then if if everyone had access to resources more easily for what would help them, because with my mom, like, it took her 5 years to find the thing that she needed. And I know some people, they've spent hours, days, weeks, months, years looking for solutions to these things that are going on with them, and they usually finally find it, or they just give up or whatever. And it just seems like there's a lot, even if you want to find like a good massage, if you don't have a direct connection to someone that you trust, it can take, like an hour to research and look around, and maybe you go and it's not good and da da da. So, and then you have all these different sites. And so I started to like have this, the first idea around it was like a phone, a phone number. It was before the iPhone. It was a phone number that you would call that would have an operator that would say, "Hey, what's going on? What can I help you with?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm going through a breakup or whatever." It's like, "Okay, let me see if there's a breakup coach that's available right now, and I'll just connect you." And then you just play by the minute and talk to a breakup coach. And so I I began to sort of form this idea of this network of different wellness modalities. And what if we could take all the wellness stuff in the world and put it all in one place and just let people find it more easily. And as we started to run our events company, my partner Crystal and I founded it in 2017 officially, but we started running events in 2015, 16. Um, and I was running events before that, music mostly. And she was focused on being a mom and also on eco villages. That was her big passion and community. She ran beautiful community houses for many years before we met, as did I, which is funny. So um, I forgot where I was going there. So basically, so how, like, what if we created this space, this one-stop shop where people could find what they're looking for? Oh, events. We started running events, and the main challenge, the main thing that took most of our time was marketing. It was just telling the right people and da da da. And there's also obviously Facebook ads, different things, but not everyone is really comfortable with that or has the, cash flow to fund it or the wherewithal to like figure it out or just wants to figure it out. And so we were in that later camp. We were like, Facebook ads, whatever. So we just sort of like did it organically and, made a living. Like we've been doing it full time since 2016. But it was such a big job, and people would come to us after and say, "Oh, I didn't even know you were doing it." And, oh, we are promoting it ever. What do you mean? And I just began to think, like, gosh, if Facebook would just tell people that this was happening or whatever platform, and I would give them a percentage, like for sure, like a lot, because it's so worth it. And we used Airbnb as a like a to rent out rooms that we had. And it was so amazing because people would just find it and it was organic and we didn't have to promote it. And, a couple rooms that were making us 3,000 a month in rent to roommates started making like 10,000 a month on Airbnb. And we're just like, what the heck? This is amazing. This is so easy. Like, why doesn't this exist for wellness, for other things? Like, why can't we just have that all the time? And so that began this that it started to form. And then I remember sitting in the backyard of one of these houses with we had our metal pyramid in the backyard, and I was sitting with my friend and we were like, okay. And I just kind of got the business model because I was like, oh, I still don't know, like, how does it work? How do you make money? I guess it's obvious now, but I kind of got I got it. It was like, oh, okay, this is like a new the way that the social media platforms work is they get money from advertisers, and so their goal is to show to show you ads. And so they want you to stay on the platform. Obviously, they want advertisers to pay. And so what that means is the incentives are not to connect you as quickly as possible, as easily as possible to exactly what you're looking for. The incentive is to keep you on there longer and like make you stay and make you come back. And for the businesses, same thing. It's not to connect you with an ideal client who just, buys your thing because they're the perfect fit. It's to kind of make you want to pay for ads. And I love Facebook. I love what I've seen of Mark Zuckerberg and doing his public speaking. I think he's a cool dude. I have nothing against any of that. And I just think there's another opportunity here. There's another way to do this that could be so much more fantastic for everybody, for the businesses, for the people. And I just see it like I see it so clearly now. It's happening. Someone's going to do it. And so we began to really, think about this, build this, found our tech team, Swati and Arun, who are so amazing, have done such an amazing job and have really, stepped up and supported. And even when there was no money to pay them, they're like, yeah, we'll just keep going. And, they're just there. They're just like family. They're so amazing. And Crystal as well, like, in it from the well, I guess I started thinking about this before her, but she is like in it from with me, like full on. We're business partners, and we're both full on in it. And she's so amazing, so supportive, and really my kind of the other side. I was thinking about this today actually, that relationships I never really knew, but for my I didn't have that many like long relationships, but I definitely had one that felt very volatile and always up and down, and we were both more similar, and with Crystal, we're kind of opposite, but the she loves a lot of the things that I'm not crazy about, just in general in life. Like she loves to kind of create a home. And when she met me, I had like one fork, one spoon, one one bowl, one bed on the floor. And like that was it, like just the bare basics. It was a nice, little apartment with a view, but I'm not like that kind of person. And she loves just making things beautiful. And I love coming up with ideas and creating things. And she loves sort of taking something that's already halfway there and making it better and figuring out how people will love it, and making the systems and organizing the volunteers and making the banners, and so it really was this perfect thing, and we work really well together. Mostly, obviously, we have our ups and downs, but so we started to build this thing. So I'll just show you quick what a little bit of what we got. I'll take you through the site as well. I'll just run quickly. This is our investor presentation, so it's got some stuff. So problem. We want to help people find all the good wellness stuff. We're creating the amazing marketplace, kind of like the Airbnb for well-being. Someone said we should change that because they don't get it. They're like, Airbnb, what are you like renting out wellness rooms? Um, Feel free to give any feedback all the time. It's a massive, amazing market. I didn't really even know that so much personal care, wellness tourism, wellness real estate, workplace wellness, thermal mineral springs, spas, healthy eating, preventative personalized medicine, traditional complementary medicine, mental wellness. So we're really sort of focusing in the mental wellness space first. That's our main thing, as well as the community and the events for sure. But it's such a big market, 4.5 trillion for wellness, 2.8 trillion for sustainable goods. That's very, very big. I think it's almost double what Airbnb's travel market is. I might be wrong. I've seen different numbers, but and then this is just, you know, 20% of most sales in general are done online. So we estimated that's what's out of this. This is what's done online. And then we estimated what we might be able to make with a similar fee to Airbnb growing, in a similar trajectory. In last year, we did about 80,000 Canadian in revenue. So, right. So far, we're kind of in the right direction, and I know we'll get there. And different ways that we can make money through a percentage of sales, and also fun things like having tips on love streams, which is kind of going live, and subscriptions like Patreon, and having some fun memberships, and like there's ClassPass style ones, Amazon Prime style ones where you get discounts or whatever. Eventually corporate wellness, maybe some cool sample boxes, different things. And then this is our some stats, members, businesses, listings, event, all that stuff. Our podcast is really fun. We've done now over 450,000 streams on Spotify. It's been really great. This is the different styles of things we'll have. I think you probably get the picture already, but all kinds of different events and products and services. We actually did almost 40,000 Canadian through our events ticketing platform, which I'll show you. And this is the thing. So the big challenge with marketplaces is like this chicken or the egg thing. It's that the businesses want to join if there's enough people. The people want to join if there's enough businesses. And so how do who do you go after first? And so we've been thinking of ways to get both people onboarded, at the same time. Airbnb famously did their launch during the Democratic National Convention when there wasn't enough hotel rooms for all the people seeing Barack Obama. And that's one of the ways they were able to launch, is when there was like a big need for housing, and then people had extra rooms and they could make some money, and it just sort of worked out. So we've been doing this thing called speed healing at our live events, and it's been really great. People have been getting bookings and clients from it, and it's just been a great way for people to connect with new potential clients and businesses that they might not try out, especially, probably wouldn't pay $100 plus for a session, but they'll do a free 10-minute session. And then within that, they get a feel for each other and if it's a good fit. And then it has led to a lot of amazing connections and sales and all that stuff. So having that online as well. Um, and then this is kind of how we'll probably have some sort of tiered system where the first, if we introduce you to a new client, there's a higher fee. If it's a current past client, there's a lower fee so that people want to use us ongoing and not just sort of get their clients and then go off the platform and then have love coins and ratings and reviews and easy booking and trust and safety and different fun ways to keep people wanting to play with us. And then we're also thinking of creating some sort of mastermind for wellness businesses. That's sort of a rough thing. We're not sure on the price um, but we want to have it be so that there's at least 2 calls a month, one with all the other mastermind members where you could get to break out into smaller groups and really like share and mastermind and share with the group. And then there's a Facebook group where you can share and get feedback and share ideas and asks and offers. And then once a month, there would be some sort of expert who has a skill or something that the community really wants and can benefit from and have that and record it and have it available for after if you want. And then we have this fun idea for a group insurance plan where if we could get some insurance provider to give us a group rate similar to what they would do for like a employee, like a wellness insurance plan. And then when you go on Unite, you go to buy a massage and it says, oh, if you're a member of this insurance plan, or I don't know how much it would be per month, or however, but if you're a member of this plan, instead of $100, it's $20 or whatever it is. I think people would love that. It'd be so good for everyone, especially if you're, and it would encourage more people to do more wellness more often and, help spread out the load um, between, the participants, practitioners, and I guess it's the government who ends up paying for some of that, or the insurance company. I'll figure out how that works. And then right now we've got this love feed, which is an uplifting feed. Eventually we want to have an algorithm that really tracks how you feel as you interact with different posts. If you want, of course, everything is going to be up to you to share as much as you want. But if you want to, there'll be some, through a video or through a wearable or through these little happy faces, it'll give you a sense of, what this did after watching this video. Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Where were you when you started? Where were you when you ended? And then that can go into some sort of algorithm or AI or whatever that can start to categorize, oh, this video really helped someone who was sad go to happy, etc. And then it can start to show it to other people. And we've got our marketplace where you can buy and sell products, services, events. We've got the live streaming app, the Love Stream, where you can go live and share. Right now, you can't go live. You need your own Zoom, but we'll figure that out in time. And yeah, we see it being, as big as or bigger than the biggest companies of today. It can be this sort of overarching social network, marketplace, super app where people can just do their daily thing. And if definitely something that I got in this sort of meditative state was that we're not just going to be about wellness and eco-friendly products. We're actually going to go into work and we're going to use the algorithm and the AI that knows how to connect people, because we want to have something where when you log in, it can ask you questions or you can share, and as time goes on, it learns about you and knows your likes and dislikes and all that stuff. And of course, it's all up to you how much you want to share, and you can control that on your end. And then it does the same thing with the businesses. Who's this good for based on all these reviews and ratings and scientific papers and research and da 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 da. What's energy healing typically been good for in the past, given all the data that's on it, and then start making connections. Like, oh, maybe this, you're can't sleep, having headaches, whatever. Try this thing that has helped other people who have that same thing, and to make those connections. And of course, we have to figure out how to do it within all the regulations. But um, yeah, I think it can be big. Um, yeah, so the work thing, being able to connect people to a job that they're looking for, and I like to think of it instead of all these competing companies and everybody trying to like make more money. What if we saw it more like we all work with and with the world, and our goal is to make life as good as possible. And so wouldn't you want the best people working on the right projects at the right time and have been more of like a shared resource pool of people, and be able for people to just flow freely throughout different projects, different companies, and just go where they're drawn and needed, and just have more of like a fluid work style where all this data can be captured on what's your skills, what's your values, what's your expertise, who do you like working with, all that stuff can kind of be gathered. And then when someone needs someone like that, it can just say, oh, there's this opportunity to go here. And then it just allows for things to be more fluid. So definitely see that in the future. Marketing, all the things, how we do the marketing. We want to have an equity crowdfunding at some point to support um, to allow our community to invest in Unite as well. And we've got an amazing person we're chatting with to lead our seed round of $2 million US, and so exciting. So it's definitely, I feel like it's coming. We've got meetings with a few different people that all seem keen and interested, and we're just working on some due diligence with one and getting things ready. So super duper duper exciting. If you're interested, connect@unite.love. Connect@unite.love is our email address. Would love to chat and see if it's a fit. And then we've got our amazing team, myself, Swati and Arun. They're so easy to work with, so lovely, so talented. They've got a big team in India. They live here in Vancouver near us, and they have been just the best. They have a bunch of other companies that they're working with, and eventually they're open to joining us full time as we need. And but for now, can do everything we need, and are just so awesome, and have an amazing team and Crystal. And then we've got the future is bright. We've got this big vision for events where we have, stadiums worldwide doing these big events with celebrities and, conscious artists, and really bringing people together in meditation, breathwork, celebration, music, dance, festival, etc. Like big, like the Olympics, like just so beautiful, really bringing people together, eventually doing global synchronized stuff with billions of people around the world. And then spaces, really having these like beautiful physical locations where we can have hangout time, co-working, spa, events, yoga, like the spot where you actually like go hang out and meet people. And it's like the spot. And it really doesn't exist in most places. And it's a little bit crazy that it doesn't exist yet, but it'll come. It feels like people are starting to build them. And so we want to be a part of that, building our own and partnering with people who are building them and all that stuff. So there you go. And that's our how do I get out of this? That's our investor presentation. And then I'll show you the platform here. Let me just hide this thing. So when you go to the platform, so this is the love feed. So this is the main feed where all of the things are. So people are posting about cool information. Crystal's hosting a clothing swap. Avneet has a beautiful retreat actually at our house in White Rock. New people joining. So right now the feed is all purely like timeline. There's no algorithm. You can add certain filters and like search for, yoga or whatever, and then it'll just show you yoga people and yoga posts. And then we've got the love stream, which is basically a kind of it's like an event for a live stream. Right now you need your own Zoom. We eventually want it to be where you can just go live and use Unite to go directly. We've got our events. This is where most of the revenue for Unite has come through, is people hosting their events through Unite. Synergy, thank you so much, Astara, Vern, and team for using Unite. They were the first ones to really like jump in, and now we've got a few other people using it regularly, and it's just so fun. We obviously use it for our events, and you can use. We only have right now like one ticket price and different limitations because we haven't built it all out. So when we need to, we use both Unite and Eventbrite, but obviously we try and do as much as we can through Unite. And then products. So this is products and services. When we have an extra ticket that we don't have room for, we create it here. So like if you want to be a vendor at one of our events, you can buy it here. There's online courses. There's speed healing. So if you click here, speed healing, this is really cool because you can just go, you click on it, you click book now, it takes them to their Calendly. Oh, we'll have to update that, but it takes you to the Calendly, you book it, and off you go, and you can just book a free 10-minute session with an amazing practitioner. It's super fun. So we've also got, oops, we've also got, oh, sorry. So we've got all these fun things. I've got my own little speed healing thing here, and Crystal's got one. And there's organic yoga mats with like essential oils and things in them. More speed healing. There's some really cool um, products at the bottom here. Oh, might be a little issue with. Might need to update that little bug. It's not going down. There's a bunch more products. And then you can add a product to your event. I think that's kind of it. We've got, simple messages. We've got simple notifications. And then there's different things. You can invite people to Unite. You can just share wherever. You can see things that you've ordered. If you're a business, you can see who's ordered from you and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the basics. I'll share with you quick what we're thinking. So we want to build out the speed healing. So the services is a big thing that we're wanting to book out or build out so that the app is really amazing, and having some sort of discounts and deals thing where if people put a deal out there or they have a last minute opening, you can be notified however you want to by text, email, whatever, and say, oh, there's in your area, there's a massage today that's half off or whatever. Multiple tickets for events, love coins. I think it will start either just points or a in-app token. Maybe eventually a crypto thing, but I don't know enough about it or how that works yet. So I'm gonna leave that to someone who really understands, and we'll bring someone on when the time is right. Ratings and reviews, adding that in. You can share what are all your favorite things. So like what are all the products and services that you really love and events. And then if people click those through your platform or through your recommendation, you would get, you would get some sort of affiliate, whether it's points or money. We haven't figured it out yet, but something to say thank you. And yeah, I think it'll be something that you can use to actually buy stuff. It'll be some form of currency that you can use on Unite. Love streams go live now, multiple at once, paid love streams, channels. So we have a few fun things. We're going to really focus one thing at a time and just focus on the speed healing and really try and make that the best ever and see what people want. And please give as much feedback as possible. We also have events. We've got so many events. I'll show you a quick little uh, I'll show you a quick little thing about our events. So these are some amazing. We did a harbor cruise with Day at Dova. We've done planetarium events with Matthew and Theta and Ari, and uh, yoga beach party. We did a 450 person at the Playhouse Theater, like a talks event. We did this tropical plant dome meditation with singing plants and all that cool technology. And then this was the Deodova cruise and Dream Talks with Phoenix. And then this was our New Year's event where we had all these amazing artists and musicians and experiences. Matthew, Will Blunderfield. There we go. And then some of our amazing vendors, Natanya, Bryce. So fun. Serena and friends. Heather. Heather's been to like most of our events. Thank you so much, Heather. You're amazing. You're so wonderful. There's Ari's beautiful creations and all the good stuff. We've got some of our community events. I think that was my birthday party. We always have family friendly as much as possible. This is, we want to help people feel good. So yeah, that's kind of the basics. Yeah, would love to connect. So feel free to connect anytime. Connect@unite.love is my email. You can message me, Shine Kelly on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And hope you're doing so good. So much love. We'll talk soon.